Fuck it on 40.
We're recording.
Oh, welcome back to this week's Ruby Beard. This is the Fuck It on 40 podcast, and I'm here with my co-host
Kelly Bell.
And I am your other co-host, Tracy Kreider. And we've got some things to discuss today, don't we, Kel?
Yeah, we do. Fun as well. Okay, it's horribly sad, but horribly sad. But I will tell you that being overweight could save you from the terrors of being stuffed into a duffel bag.
I could understand that. I didn't know exactly where you were going there. But
well,
okay.
You heard the story this week, from Queens, this lady from Queens. This is a crazy freaking story. So mom, 13-year-old son sitting at home, dad, 17-year-old son are in another state looking at colleges, and mom tells 13-year-old son, I'm going to go out with some friends. Then all of a sudden, the next morning, cops are pulling him out of the house in handcuffs. The 13-year-old boy.
The 13-year-old, yeah.
Yeah, because some guy with some sniffy dogs was walking his dog.
Sniffy dogs, is that the official?
Well,
and are we keeping you up? You're yawning. Are we keeping you up here?
I know. Yeah, they're sniffy dogs. Like they are sniffy.
Canine.
Well, but they're like sniffy type dogs, not just like
sniffy. I don't think any police officer, any canine police officer is like, I don't like sniffy. That doesn't sound very official.
They're not cadaver dogs, but they picked up on the fact that there was something wrong with this duffel bag, which they think was like the 13-year-old boy's hockey bag.
Right.
And the guy opened it and there was a dead body, a lady.
Mom was stuffed in the duffel bag.
Yeah, there was a mom stuff. And then the dogs actually brought them to the house where the 13-year-old son was, because like he dragged this guy, stabbed her like 60 times, stuffed her into the bag, and like dragged the bag out of the house underneath this bridge. So there's like a blood trail leading all the way up to the house where the front door was open, kid being at home. Which then come to find out, I just looked up the story not too long ago because there was a whole bunch of speculation as like what it was. Like, was she having an affair? I had heard one story, they were talking about like she was on jury duty like 5 years ago or something like that. So maybe it was like somebody.
No one's going to sign in for jury duty again. Fuck right. That for $15.
Not worth. Yeah, I'll go.
My life is valued more than that. Thank you.
That's right. And I'm not buying duffel bags for my house anymore. That's for sure.
Killers can come equipped with their own. It won't matter whether you buy yours. They're not going to search around your house and be like, I bet there's a duffel bag in here somewhere.
No, I think this in their case, this guy was a crime of passion because mom did have an affair.
Oh, they found out that she had an affair?
Found out that she had an affair. Yep. And actually had the affair. It was either had the affair 2 years ago or had an affair for 2 years. And it was the guy that she had an affair with that came back and like,
duffel bagged her.
Well, first he stabbed her 55 or 60 times. Yeah. And then put her in a duffel bag. She was a pretty girl, pretty lady, a lot thinner than me. So she can fit into a duffel bag.
Right. So that's what you were telling me this morning. We're like, well, I guess there's a justification for those extra LBs. Nobody's shoving me in a duffel bag.
There you go. You're going to have to find an extra large suitcase. The ones they charge you $55 to put on a plane.
You're gonna have to get that shit with the wheelies up on that shit right there in order to drag my ass out of something.
You're not only is it going to have wheelies, but it's going to have electric power.
Yeah. You're gonna have to have some shocks built into those. That way, any of the bumps can handle.
Exactly.
Otherwise, it's gonna get wicked awful because I'll probably just be pouring out of that bag. Your seams won't be able to handle me. Now, let me ask you, when you drive and you see trash bags along the side of the road,
100%. I know where you're going.
Don't you immediately think, yeah,
I pass by forests.
There's body parts in there.
I pass by wooded areas and I'm like, I bet there's a body there. I bet there's a body on the other side of that ravine.
So, some people where we live, there is a place called Lincoln Park, and it's a wooded area, and it's actually there's a map that you can look up of all the different bodies that have been found in those woods. So I too am one of those people that will drive by trees, and especially if I'm in a passenger seat, I will look into the woods and be like, wonder if anybody's dead in there.
Didn't that Adnan Syed guy, he got convicted, but then they had that old podcast that maybe thinks that he didn't do it.
Yeah, the serial podcast.
Didn't he dump his girlfriend's body? Well, supposedly he dumped his girlfriend's body in Lincoln Park.
He was convicted for killing her, and yes, her name is Heyman Lee, and she was found in Lincoln Park. Yes.
How crazy is that we live near a place that like bodies? It's just like bodies.
Hundreds, like not small numbers, like big number amount of bodies.
I think there would be more police, like,
regulating that area. Yeah, just like, you know what? We've hit like 95. Let's just start putting some cops out here. It might be good all hours of the night.
Just kind of make it your route to be there like every half hour.
Can you imagine any organization that comes in and is like, we want to revitalize this park, make it more family friendly? No.
If you're a ghost believer, that's
gonna be no good. That's gonna be no good.
There's a lot of like very unsettled souls that are gonna be there because the whole murder vibe thing.
It's very murdery. Very murdery.
I wonder if it's rapey too. I've never been to Lincoln Park. Have you been to Lincoln Park?
No, people get murdered there, and like bodies are there. No. I don't go there to try to find things. I try to stay away from that.
Not necessarily get murdered there. Their dead bodies just found there. They can get murdered other places.
So I have been near Lincoln Park more than once, but I have not actually gone through the wooded area. Because I remember
you walked.
No, there's I think it's actually I went square dancing near there one time. Yeah, square dancing I think is what I ended up doing.
Good old hold down next to the murder.
So that was one time, and then there was another time that we were driving by there, but we were kind of lost with where we were going.
But
either way, I never walked through the wooded area because even as a kid, we knew this was not a place to go. And I wouldn't say that we knew so much about because the accumulation of the body count continued to grow to where it is today. But it just still wasn't not a necessarily, awesome area to be hanging around in. So
why don't they just turn it into a body farm at this point? You know what I mean? Have you ever heard of those?
Yeah. Yeah.
I would donate my body if I wasn't going to get burned into a diamond. I think the other two things I would do is donate my body to science, to like a murder farm. And I'd like to be able to pick. I wonder if you can be like out in the open for if you can pick like if birds and stuff come eat your body, or if you're like underground, or if you're in water, or
I don't think it's a
I wonder if you can pick where you want to live on this body farm.
Right.
I want to know all the options. I want to know all the options. I feel like I don't want to be completely out in the open to be fed on by animals and birds, but I don't know. The other one,
you're dead. You know that, right? You're dead at this point. You're not going to feel anything.
That doesn't matter. But I'm alive now, so I know. Bear with me. Or
okay, all right. I'm here with you. What else, Cal? What else can we do for you when you're gone and would know nothing about what happens next? What else can I do for you?
If burning into a diamond for whatever reason becomes unofficial, then either body farm, and I'll clarify what exactly in the body farm I want to do. I want to research it to make sure, or I want to go be part of Body World, and I want you to plasticize me and put me in a museum.
There's a place called Body World?
What? You haven't seen this?
No.
Oh my gosh, it is crazy. So I haven't actually seen. They used to come around here a while ago, but it's crazy. So it's
like a mobile place. What's happening?
They'll travel. They travel. So there's different shows, it is called Body World, and they plasticize. It's called plasticizing. I don't know what they do or how they do it, but I did at one point. It's been many, many years since I was a teacher. I can't remember exactly how it does, but you go in and it's like real bodies, real animals that have been put through this process, and you get to go look at them. So the craziest part was, so one of the, so like they'll take a body and they'll cut it into three, like from head to toe, like three parts. And so like you see the front part, the middle part, and then the back part, like and all the insides and stuff in it. Like it's nuts. And the craziest thing, the saddest thing was actually when it's kind of closed off, so you don't have to go in if you don't want to, but they basically showed a whole thing. This one that I went to, it was like the progression of like spina bifida, and it had like all different kinds of like, I know, and then I know
You got it.
I know. So it's like weird. It's so like it was crazy to see like the different degrees of spina bifida, and they actually had like a plasticized abortion, which was crazy. Like, yeah,
No
it's
thanks. I'm out.
like if somebody with a tumor had a boob tumor, like breast cancer, and like it was like a tumor that grew out. So like that was like plasticized there. Yeah, it's nuts. It is so cool. You
I
can't
just think it's interesting. It's also mobile. It's like, hey, could you imagine that like right next to any of those food trucks? Like you go to a food truck place and then you can also go in to see plasticized
the food trucks outside of the Body World.
Yeah, it's like don't it's like swimming. Don't eat for 30 minutes after you go inside of this truck.
But it's weird because it actually looks kind of fake. Like it doesn't look like it's real.
That's probably a good thing. So your brain can
yeah, I mean it's wild. It's wild. You couldn't take pictures. I was so upset because at the time I was teaching science and I was like, but I want to show my kids. Like my kids aren't going to come here. Like they're not, but they're like, no. They actually did a horse on the website. They did a horse. I didn't get to see the horse though.
So it's a little bit, what was that movie with Jenny from the Block, and she goes inside the guy's mind and he's like like crazy trains. Cell.
Yep.
You literally just walk through a real life dream of that guy.
I did
From the Cell.
I did.
Gross.
It was pretty cool. Actually, it's still around. Just FYI, you can still get tickets to see Body World. Yep. Oh, that's cool.
What are the tickets running?
That's real bodies that they plasticize and pose. You see that?
Yeah, gross.
They skinned them. Gross. They're skinned. There's no skin on them.
What's a go-in ticket to go see?
Here's a guy playing a saxophone. You see that? So cool. What are the tickets like?
Yeah, what's a ticket go for to go see
I want to say it was like
boob tumor. What does a boob tumor run as far as ticket sales?
Hold on. I don't know what's happening here. I know accept what? What am I accepting?
I don't know. You're being tracked.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening. Okay. Oh, you bastard. It's making me accept something.
While you're looking at that, we were also talking today because as some of you who may have listened before, we have gone in and done our ancestry DNA testing.
Oh, by the way, there's more in Houston. I just got here.
Oh, okay.
It's in Houston. And I'm going to tell you that tickets are not available for that date. So.
Okay.
Oh, they're like $30, $20.
Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad.
Yeah.
To see a tumor boob, $30 I'd pay.
Oh, or a skinned fella playing a saxophone. That was there too. Or some skinless acrobats. You can see that too.
Some skinless acrobats. Anyway, let's move on from Body World. So we we're doing the ancestry thing. Yours has not come in. Mine has come in.
Yours has come in.
So we're going to do an episode specific because the jury is still out on whether or not we're actually sisters.
I need to get our testing video up on the up onto the YouTube video.
Yes. So it's a couple of funny things, of course, I was talking with our mom and I was like, oh, okay, so I think your stuff is coming because they immediately brought you in to mine. And they were like, oh, bing, this is your sister. She has like 56, 58% match to you. And mom was like, what? What do you mean? She only has a 56 to 58% match to you. And she's like, how is that possible? And she's your sister. And I was like, because if it was 100%, she'd be me.
You'd be the same person.
I guess that makes sense. Oh yeah. And then I found a couple of our aunts had actually gone on and uncles and some second cousins had gone on and done it because they started popping up. It's like bing, 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 bing. So all that happens. But then one of the things that we also did was we did our traits. And while I won't go into all of them, one of the traits that they said my DNA claims that I have is that I'm introverted. So I think it's a scam.
Do you have introverted? Maybe you have introverted nipples. That's what it was trying to say. You have introverted nipples.
I just didn't read it right.
I think you maybe introverted. That's right.
Even though it fell under personality, it was talking about my boobs, my nips.
I mean, because I feel like DNA could. I feel like you would be pretty hard pressed for DNA to be able to describe your personality. I mean, I was a science teacher. Maybe I feel like personality is.
So what they tell you in the traits portion, and you go through and you get it. It's pretty neat because you'll get through this like little training on like, okay, here's basically DNA testing that is through ancestry.com is like meteorologist for whatever your weather station is. It's like, here's what we think it's going to be, but we could be off a little bit. And so you go through this whole training. I'm like, okay, so some of this could be right. Some of it couldn't be right. But they tell you that what happens is they take your DNA and they compare it to other people with certain certain traits. And it's like, there's different markers, I guess, in your DNA that would be like, oh, well, this compares to this. Gotcha. But there's two things that can happen with your DNA. So one is what your DNA will tell you, but it doesn't explain what your environment was, right? So I might have obviously a makeup of somebody. Right. And so I have the makeup of somebody who might have been better suited as an introvert, but my experiences in life forced me into being an extrovert, I guess. I was like, I don't think this is, I told mom, I was like, they said I was, my DNA tells me I'm an introvert. I think we've been scammed. And then I tell my husband this and he's like, no, I think that makes sense. And I was like, what? Like, what in my life?
To be honest, I honestly, because there are parts of you, if you think about it, if you sit and think about the things that you do, like one of the things that we say about you is that you go into radio silence.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely
nobody will hear from you. Like, it's just like you don't answer texts, you don't answer phones, and then like 4 weeks later, we're like, oh, okay, there she is. If it wasn't for this podcast, I probably.
Yeah, you see me more now. You hear from me more now.
Yeah,
but when I okay, but you know what? Like the saying an extrovert, you know, that I'm introverted. It's like saying peanut butter could be chunky sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I have tendencies, but don't. I would think in moments where
you are chunky peanut butter.
I am chunky peanut butter. Right now, I am, girl. I'm definitely some chunky peanut butter. But yeah, so I do think that there's probably going to be traits that in there, but this was like, no, you straight up, you're an introvert. I was like, ooh, I don't know. When I go on radio silent, in truth, it's typically because I'm dealing with shit and I don't need everybody's opinions on it. Like, I'm very much like, if something's going on with me, I
think that's the introverted.
I'll deal with it.
So I'll be curious. I can't wait to see what I am because I want to tell the world I'm fucking angry. I'm happy. I'm so good. I'm hungry. I gotta pee.
I don't think your DNA is going to tell you all of that. So you're going to be already disappointed. In terms of
me being more of the extrovert, because I kind of have like diarrhea of the mouth and I just tell people I don't really like, I speak my truth all the time, much to people's dismay.
Much to people's dismay.
Like, we don't care.
Speaking of truths, we also talked today because, so I had to, my husband's out. He's bar hopping on the Thursday. Actually, he's only going to one bar with some of his friends. But anyway, so
bar and they got good beer.
Yeah, it's a good. Yeah, we've been there. So I was like, all right, I have to get. Say again.
We did an episode from there.
We did. It's Scorpions.
Yeah.
So, at any rate, so I had to get dinner, and we also had the podcast, which means I'm picking up dinner. And so I was like, all right, I'll go get Jersey Mike's. And my family has the same order every time we go. So it's simple. And I explained to Kelly, she's like, why Jersey Mike's? Why not go here? And I was like, well, my family's really into cold sandwiches. Like everyone in my household, except for myself. I don't like a cold sandwich. Like I have had them. I will eat them. It is fine, but I don't prefer them. I hate.
Well, I'm a hot foods person.
Yeah, I'm a hot foods. I feel like hot food is like, what do they say? It's like chicken soup for your soul. Like hot foods just sort of warm the belly and even heart.
Meant to be hot, I want to warm it up.
Right. 100%. I'm kind of that person, like scrape everything that can't actually cook up and I'll just stick the rest of it in a toaster and this sandwich is automatically better.
Like Potbellies, the fact that they like toast all their subs was like, oh.
Yeah. I have to have that sort of thing. I feel in my heart of hearts that people who eat cold sandwiches are sad people. These are people who are sad. I think everyone in my household right now is very sad.
We grew up on cheese and mayonnaise sandwiches. So I'm sorry, cheese and Miracle Whip sandwiches. So the idea of
for us, that was our mayonnaise. So let's be honest, we always called it mayonnaise.
Cheese and mayonnaise, because I didn't even realize there was mayonnaise outside of Miracle Whip.
I didn't either. I thought everybody ate that. And then when you found out somebody had mayo and it's like, ew, what is this tasteless crap?
Hellman's?
What is Duke's? That's gross. It's very thick and it has no flavor.
First off, bitch, I like some Duke's. It's like this. It's grocery store quality, almost restaurant quality mayonnaise.
You're coming at me over some shit that you and I both experienced when we were kids. You and I both know. Back in the day when we were kids, somebody put Duke's on a goddamn sandwich. You'd be like, "This is bland as shit." I'm not saying that our palates haven't refined.
What is
back in the day?
What is Miracle Whip? What's their slogan? Isn't it zesty? Is it zest? There's no zest.
Salad dressing that you can pretend to be mayonnaise.
That's right. It's salad. It's dressing. It's not mayonnaise. It's dressing. Yeah.
So it was good on some white ass toast with some American cheese and Miracle Whip. That was what we grew up on. And then eventually we came into some money and we got some lunch meat. We used to get the budding lunch meat. Do you remember that?
Okay, so I occasionally will pick up the budding honey ham.
Yeah, right, because it's like $1 a
and
pack.
I'll make 2 sandwiches out of it.
We ended up with
4 or 5 slices on
30 packs of it at the house, and it's like, oh my god, it's fucking Thanksgiving, bitch.
I gotta put it on a toasted English muffin with some mustard.
Well, that's when you're living your best life. Like that's champagne. Right. What is it? What was that guy's name that used to do the rich and the famous lifestyles, the rich and famous lifestyles? Somebody is going to hear this and be like, it's blah, blah, blah. And they're yelling it right now.
Yeah, we're getting yelled at. Nope. Fuck trivia.
It's on the tip of your tongue. I'm talking about and it's the lifestyles of the rich and famous. Yeah, when grocery shopping happened and we had the budding come in the house, we were like, what the fuck? We're about to bud out. Budding. So I liked turkey and ham. That was mine.
Just honey ham.
Yeah, right. It couldn't be. I'm not a big fan of like Black Forest ham, none of that stuff. Like honey ham or smoked ham. These are 2 things that I can get down with. But the budding packs, if you've never got it, they're thin. There's not necessarily a ton in there.
There's only like 10 slices.
That's what I'm saying. There's not a ton. And then eventually the grocery stores came out with like their version. Right. And then eventually the grocery stores had their version of lunch meat. And then we got that. And that's when it came in the actual like kind of Tupperware bins.
Me and Michael would have that for lunch when we first got married all the time. We find a little breakfast, the thins, the bread thins or whatever. What are they? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yes, the very thin English muffin-y kind of things.
But they're not English muffin though. It's like they were called bread thins, like Arnold made them or something. I don't know. It was weird.
Arnold Schwarzenegger made them specifically out of his
No,
kitchen for you.
The bread people. Arnold doesn't make the bread. He just sleeps with his housekeeper and has babies.
Yikes! Ouch! Right? How do you bring in Arnold Schwarzenegger sleeping with somebody into a hot cold sandwich conversation?
Because I tell
only
you what,
here, folks. Only fucking here.
There was something quite devastating to find out that he had a baby with his fucking housekeeper, and they lived in the same house.
I don't get devastated over that stuff, so you know it just is.
That's some baller shit. That is somebody with a big cojones to do that. Yeah. To not let your wife know that, by the way,
she knew. Let's not act like she knew. She knew.
Also,
she knew.
My son. I know I keep him in the basement, but it's my son.
Damn.
I don't know where he lives. He could have had a nice bedroom, but that was still like, are you kidding?
Yeah.
Like, who does that? Like, I'm gonna put you in a duffel bag, Arnold. I'm just kidding. I'm not.
Yeah, exactly. No, you're not.
He just didn't. That's how you. Although California does have some morals because they voted him out of being governor. I don't think they gave him a second term, did they?
I don't know.
Did he
I
get
didn't prepare that information for the podcast today.
Somebody let me know if he did have 2 terms. I don't think he had.
I still am on Who Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. That's who I am still on.
Well, Mayor Barry.
Did definitely not do that. Mayor Barry was not a Lifestyles on the Rich and Famous. He was a drug addict,
crackhead, and hired hookers. He got voted in twice to be mayor.
Oh my God, that's funny.
He was reelected, although he was mayor, not governor.
Yes, he was.
I don't know what's happening right now.
Robin Leach. Oh my God. We could not have ended this episode without it. That's what it was for us. Our Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous was a refrigerator stock full of budding.
Now I have wine racks of good fucking bubbles.
Right. And I like hot sandwiches.
Sandwiches. I don't like a good cold sandwich.
I can't do the cold stuff. I'm done with the cold stuff.
No.
So yeah, that's it. That's I think our weekend review.
That's not a weekend review. That's just our stupid shit. If you want to talk about my week, that was fucking weird.
I don't, because I've already talked about it like 7 times. So.
Well, no, not 7 times. Just every day something else has happened.
Kelly's had a string of it. Well, we should just collect them as we go, and then we'll just have a whole episode about how your month has been horrible.
My planets are not aligned. If someone out there can realign my planets, or
you know what's going to happen is we're going to get your ancestry.com stuff back, and you're not going to be my sister. And then we're going to have to figure out who was really adopted.
But you just said that I pinged, so I am your sister.
I know.
Or maybe I'm your cousin.
We are very similar. I was just hoping one of us was not going to be related to the other. I think
maybe Aunt Sean actually gave birth to me first and then had to get in. Mom's like, no, I'll take it for you because you're such a baby. You're such a baby. You don't want to like mess up your whole life. I'll take it for you because Mom was older.
Yeah, I don't know that would have gone down that way, but that's fine. That's fine.
Okay, so I look just like Mom.
You probably do.
I do.
That's why I thought I could have been another. And we also talked about it. I am mentally prepared to be an adopted kid. Like, I think I have the mental capacity.
I think you're trying to will yourself to be the adopted kid. I think that's what you're trying to do.
I'm just saying it brings into a really interesting backstory for an introverted extrovert is all I'm saying. It makes it sort of rounds me out a good bit. Like, and then in her 40s, she found out X. I think that'd be great. I can handle it.
But we're a 50-something% match, so.
No, I know. I'm just.
How did you find it? Did they send it to you email?
Yeah, I get a message about it.
Yeah, I'm not getting any messages.
Well, you will soon, and I can't wait because we'll see. It's going to be a nice little reveal. There's some fun things that are surprising about what it is that we've learned, at least for me. So I'll be very curious to see what
you get cancer. Are you cancer prone?
I'm not going to reveal all the things. We're going to have to.
But can you tell me if that tells you that?
No, I'm going to let you suffer with this. You'll
Well,
sleep. You'll stay up all night
they
wondering.
tell me, yes, you indeed have spina bifida.
Possibly. I mean, we already know that, so it's not going to be shocking.
Can we talk about my Medea boobs on screen right now?
That's a lot happening. Is your Medea boobs on screen?
It is. Well, the way that this shirt is and the angle is, my boobs look
podcast people who are listening don't give a fuck.
Ginormous. Well, you have to go to YouTube.
The YouTubers that might give a fuck. All
right.
Well, I think that's enough because we're starting to ramble over some dumb shit. So, okay, listen, folks.
My boobs are not dumb shit.
Okay. I'm not touching that one. So, folks, thanks for showing up again. And we do have our next season coming up here, just a couple more episodes, and then we'll be starting back at season, what is that? 5?
Yeah.
Season 5?
I lost count.
Okay. So season 5 will be coming up soon. Thanks for showing up. We appreciate y'all. And we'll close this out as we always do. 1, 2, 3. Don't be a dick.